I want to share with you my favorite technique for card reading. This technique will absolutely amplify your card reading abilities. I remember when I opened up intuitively back when I was younger, we'll say. And I remember that I didn't jump into card readings right away. I don't know what it was about card readings, but they kind of intimidated me. I was worried I was going to get them wrong, or I wasn't going to be able to do it right, or that I wasn't a card reader. If you have any of those thoughts, this is a perfect video for you. Or if you've been doing card readings for a while and you're like, I want to really take it to the next level. I want to get more information out of my card readings. This is going to be a perfect video for you. When it comes to card reading, there's a lot of different techniques. There's a lot of different cards out there. Let's start with that. There's pretty much two main categories of cards that you can get as a reader. You can get a deck of tarot cards, or you can get a metaphysical deck. If we divide it into those two categories, tarot has a set of, I want to kind of say, rules, or a set of, standards as to what each card means. And people have been reading tarot for so long that really works. It really, really works with tarot readings. When you get a particular card, it means a particular thing. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful process. Today, what I'm going to talk about is more in the category of metaphysical cards, how to read those without that set, historical set of rules, historical set of meanings that really make tarot what it is. Tarot's absolutely amazing. I love it. But today we're going to talk more about the other types of cards, whether it's angel cards, animal cards, shape cards, any type of cards that you can read. Some people even read a deck of 52 standard cards, and they do so very well. I remember getting my first reading from someone who read from a deck of 52 cards, and he pulled out the deck and he shuffled it and he was laying it down, and I'm like, three of spades, two of hearts. How is he going to be able to read these? It doesn't make sense. And it was one of the most accurate readings I've ever gotten. So it was really amazing. Whatever type of deck you're drawn to, go to that deck. First off, when it comes to doing card readings, the deck needs to mean something to you. I feel very strongly about this. It doesn't matter if you are absolutely drawn to the artwork or to the name of the deck, or it was a deck that kind of magically found its way to you in your life. Whatever, however it comes to you in the right way, stick with that deck. The more you connect to your reader's deck, the better it's going to be. And I'm going to set you up, for a really great technique today that I want you to try, and you're going to see how that's going to really amplify the amount of information that comes through. But we do need to start with, what's your deck? Where do you start? I read not only tarot decks, but I also read, standard metaphysical decks as well, angel decks, motivational decks. There is massive amounts. I even have a pirate deck that's not even printed anymore, but I bought it years ago, and I absolutely love that deck. And it's kind of tarot style, but the photos are really interesting, which brings me to the technique that I want to share with you today. When I started reading, like I said, I was really intimidated, and I really stuck with the dictionary that was in the box that came with the deck of cards. I got 3 or 4 different decks, all of which I was really drawn to. Again, that's really important. The deck that you're drawn to is probably the deck that you need to use. And each of those came with a book. You know what I'm talking about. If you've ever bought a deck of cards, you know the book I'm talking about. Here's my first piece of advice. This is not the final piece. This is not the focus of this session, but here is my first piece of advice. Get rid of the book. Get rid of it. If you can't stomach actually throwing it away, put it somewhere out of view. Let yourself step into that self-trust of your own intuition to read the deck without the book, without what the book says each card means. Now, it's great to start out with that. It's a great way to start to train yourself to get used to using a deck. It's wonderful, but in the end, it's very limiting, because if that little book tells you what every card means, you're only going to go that deep. So if you're having any nerves right now at the idea of throwing out the book, I did too. But my guide told me early on, get rid of that book. Quit relying on the book. You've got to let yourself dive into these cards, which brings me to the technique I want to share with you today. Very early on, my guides worked with me along with a few other friends who were already doing card readings, did a great job helping me with this to really let myself fall into the photo on the card. Pick a couple cards and actually let go also for a while you're just exploring this new technique. Let go and create whatever spread you want. How do I lay it out? What does it have to look like? Should I do 3? Should I do 4? Should I do 2? Should I do them up and down? Should I do them side to side? Should I have them turned over? Should I have them upside down? All of those questions, I'm going to challenge you to just let yourself answer. Go inside and say, okay, go in internally and say, okay, which one should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? I feel like, what do you feel like today? Do you feel like laying down 3? And then reading them, and then do you feel like pulling another card? Go with what you feel. You can follow standard spreads. You can follow, the book. You can follow instructions. You can do it exactly the same way somebody else does. But if you know me, if you've been following me, I am always going to challenge you to do it the way it feels right to you. That's where you go from having a small crack into the intuition that you have access to, because that little crack of that door is open because you're following the book. You're following how somebody said to do the spread. You're following, how to flip the cards, when to flip the cards. You're following someone else's plan. So you're cracking that door open just a little bit. When you let go of all of that outside instruction and you go with what you feel, hide the book. If you can throw it away, please do so. If you don't want to throw it away because you want to keep it together with the cards, I get it, but hide it somewhere. Let go of the book, let go of instructions on how the spread's supposed to look, and go with what you feel. Okay, here we are. You've let go of the book. You've laid out a couple of cards with the intent of the reading that you're going to do. Perhaps you're asking a question for yourself, asking a question for somebody else. Perhaps you don't really have any cares in the world and you're just laying out cards to see what they tell you. Now you've laid out your own unique spread that you did through what you felt. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to do what's called a photo dive. I want you to actually let yourself fall into the image on the card. We're not relying on the book anymore. So we're not relying on what a third party said that card means. And you're falling into that card. You're letting images speak to you. You're letting things pop out. You're not quite sure at first what it might mean, but wow, you're drawn to this one part of the photo, or you're drawn to this one other section. This is what I want you to play around with. I want you to play around with losing yourself in the photo. Lose yourself in the artwork. Lose yourself in the image on the card, and watch how you open yourself up to 1,000 more bits of information that card could tell you. If the book says that this particular card means abundance and that great things are coming into your life, then that's the limitation of your reading. That's as far as you go. You might get a little bit more. You might feel something like that it had a family connection, or that you're feeling like this has to do with work or with school or something like that. That's great. That's fantastic. That's your intuition speaking. But when you allow yourself to fall into the artwork of the card instead of relying on the book, we're going to let go of all of that. And now there's bits and pieces in that photo that are going to say something, represent something, make you feel something, or make you, think something different, or connected to this or to that. It's going to open up the door wider to allow a lot more intuitive information to come in. So here's your steps. Your technique for this session is to allow yourself to fall into the artwork, to do a photo dive, to allow that photo, that imagery, that artwork to show you something that you wouldn't have expected. That is your technique for this session. But here are your overall steps. Number 1, hide the book, please. You don't have to trash it. You don't have to throw it away. You don't have to freak out when the garbage person comes and it's gone permanently forever. Just put it somewhere for now. Step 2, lay out the spread that you feel. Don't follow any directions. Just, what do you feel? Are they up? Are they down? Are they flipped? Some not flipped, 3 in a row, 4 up and down, whatever you're pulled to do. Feel it. When you allow yourself to do a spread feeling what to do instead of following an instruction that another person has done, you are already setting yourself up. You're already opening up your intuition. You're already saying, okay, this is the flow. I'm stepping into the flow. And your spread is your first step. So, one, get rid of the book. Two, create the spread in a way that feels right to you. And then three, allow yourself to fall into the artwork. Allow yourself that photo dive. You'll find some really interesting things that happen. Now, I'm really passionate about this at this point. I've been doing card readings now for years and I love it. I have a bunch of different decks and I teach this. This is part of it. I'm actually doing this video right now because we're highlighting, the card reading course that we're putting out there right now, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's like a 3-hour course. It's really neat. There's a meditation at the end that is really connective, and you'll love it. But when it comes to card reading, I'm very, very excited about helping people to open up further and further and further to more information they can get out of the card. So it's what the whole course is about. That's what this technique in this video today is about. It's a way to say, have fun. Allow yourself to fall into your intuition instead of holding on to other, sets of rules and things like this. And again, this is not tarot. I want to make sure to really drive that home. Tarot does have a set of order, a set of this is what this card means, this is what that card means. And why does it have that? It has it because people have been doing it for so long. It is a tradition. It's a beautiful tradition. But metaphysical cards, angel cards, things like this works perfect with. If it's not tarot, and you can use tarot, you can use the artwork on tarot. I do that quite a bit. I'll actually lay a spread out with tarot cards, but not necessarily read them tarot style. Instead, read the artwork. I'll do the photo dive into a tarot card and see what comes up. I do this weekly for the Sage Circle. We do Sunday card readings for the whole group of everyone in the Sage Circle, and it's actually a lot of fun. And those photo dives work really, really well because, doing a reading like that energetically can be really powerful when you let yourself open up and let the rest of the world fall away and let your intuition just dive into that imagery. So give it a try. Put away the book, do the spread according to how you feel, and then let yourself just fall into the artwork and see what happens. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. If you haven't been doing this already, if you stumbled on it and you're already doing this, I love that. Help others that are learning, to do card readings. But if you haven't done this yet, give it a try and let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes. Let me know how much more information is coming through. Or let me know how you feel when you do it. Let me know if you can feel that space where you tap in so much that you just relax into it. That's what I want for you. I want you to be able to fall into it and just collect that information with ease. That's what it's all about. So dive in, do some card readings, have some fun with it. In addition to this technique we just talked about, another technique that I love that I want you to check out is building an intuitive dictionary. Here's the next video. I think you should watch it because it's another tool that is going to be very valuable.